our dear nation, Nigeria. We talk in politics because this has to do with politics. My name is Omo Ifipiso Semera, by the way. I have my guest in the studios, High Chief Peter Ame. He is a former IPAC chairman and also the National Secretary, Coalition of United Political Parties, or COP, if you like. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for making it to the studios this morning.
Good morning.
All right. The topic of discussion this morning is on 2027 general elections, assessing Nigeria's electoral reforms. And this is because, one is probably wondering, why are we talking about 2027 general elections in 2024? But again, politicking is already going on and momentum is already, building up amongst these political parties, the political figures, and even civil society organizations. They've also been on top of their game, pushing for more realistic and polished electoral reforms for our dear country, Nigeria. Now, Nigeria's electoral system has undergone significant reforms since the country's transition to democracy in 1999. The Electoral Act 2010, amended in 2015 and 2022, has introduced several innovations aimed at improving the electoral process. Now, despite these efforts, Nigeria's elections have been marred by controversy, violence, and allegations of rigging. The 2023 general elections highlighted the need for further reform, address operational inefficiencies, technological issues, voter suppression, and non-compliance with electoral laws. This is perhaps one of the reasons why some civil society organizations and like-minded individuals had a meeting recently to discuss or chart the way forward. You actually were one of the panelists at the meeting, and I saw videos actually have been in circulation how outspoken you were yourself and a host of others that we were also expecting to be on the show this morning, but for reasons that can't be made public, they are not here. The much reason why we're having this conversation with Chief Peter Ame alone in studios this morning. But before we talk about what you actually are pushing for, or the civil society organizations, like the adjustments, the amendments that were made in the 2022 Electoral Act, in view of the last, general election conducted last year.
For me, we have had enough amendment, and we cannot legislate everything into law, sincerely. But yes, we need further amendment, but not to the way people are pushing it, as all has to do with amendment. Like I've said, some of these things are built around lack of discipline, lack of character, and lack of competency, and lack of love for the country. And that's the major issue. Because if you are picking from a sampling, like if you do sampling analysis, you are picking for a sampling. For Nigerians, those going for elections are Nigerians. Whoever emerges victorious at the poll will be a Nigerian. All they are asking for is that the election is free, fair, and credible. Let me tell you, some of the competitions you have, and people go to tribunal, and the court is now becoming a place where people are using as punching bag because politicians are taking money to the court, to undermine the process. It's because the case even get there in the first place. If INEC is committed to creating an enabling environment where people's vote will count, where elections and voter apathy will reduce because people will be more confident in the system. Let me tell you, most of the tribunals will be empty after the election, because you won't go to court when you find out that what your agent is reporting is what INEC is reporting.
Well, is it a fault? Is it the fault of the INEC or the political parties?
No, it's not.
In terms of not having free, fair, credible, elections.
Well, like the fault is shared between those who are using state to suppress the wish of the people.
So who are those?
People in government. You can't state power outside government. You don't have that connection. Those in government are using state power while in power, and those who have been appointed to supervise, to pretend over the conduct of our elections, who are not standing their grounds to follow the oath of independence and the oath of sincerity that they are sworn to make sure that elections is one man, one vote, are the major causes of our problem. Because there's nothing you can explain to me. There's what they call from EC8A and from EC8B. These are records at the outcome of the election. But as soon as you fill this from EC8A, which is given to each agent, look at what the vice president who lost the election to John Mahama said. He said, after reviewing the report of my agents and the agent of our party, I discovered that we have lost this election and we are so by conceding to John Mahama for his victory.
So are you saying Ghana is ahead of Nigeria?
No,
in
so
terms
far,
of credibility?
instead of transparency and credibility, so far, the chairman of the Electoral Commission said something. He said, electorate goes to the polls and conduct the elections and vote at the polling unit. Vote are cast at the polling unit. Votes are recorded at the polling unit. Votes are counted at the polling unit, and winners emerge at the polling unit. Where our problem is, you've done that and you have recorded this thing from EC8A, you give it to all the representatives of the party at the polling unit, and you have also recorded in the form EC8B. You take it when you get to the collation center, this things will be mutilated. There's a new result being written at the collation center. The collation center is now more superior than the polling unit. That's what they want us to understand, and that's not true. Because you can't have a collation center without the polling unit. The polling unit is the smallest unit where all votes, all authentication, all authorities have been given to those who emerge as victorious winners at the end of the election.
You know, of course, maybe we should have even started the conversation on that note, getting your assessment with regards to the conduct of, the election in Ghana just recently. But, I mean, from your submission, it's clear that you already threw your weight behind, Ghana in terms of credibility and a more fair, process. However, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, has promised to share the Commission's experience and make available relevant documents to help the Electoral Commission of Benin Republic. And we also understand that delegates. No, I'm just trying to.
No, sorry, I thought out loud.
Okay, thank you. Delegates actually from Benin Republic are in Nigeria, right, as we speak. They're actually doing an understudy. They are undertaking an understudy, right? A study rather. I mean, via visit to INEC as election in 2026. So, are we demonizing the electoral umpire, the process before the international? But we have Nigeria Republic coming to Nigeria on the take a study. That point of the fact that it's bad as we paint it to be.
Electoral umpires who are managing our elections have been compromised, and some of them do not see themselves as truly being independent. They have allowed influence to undermine their sense of judgment and their sense of reasoning and their sense of commitment to the national unity of this country. Because people talk about democracy. People talk about development. There's no development without transparent electoral process. There's no democracy without transparent electoral process. A transparent electoral process that bring competent people into office, and that translates into democratic dividends and development. Look, this IPAC we are in today that INEC brought to us in this country was first started in Senegal. You could see there's a progress, and anytime they are trying to conduct election, it is not like we say, oh, party agent go to CBN and go and look at the serial number of this thing. The serial number of each of the ballot boxes is given to each political parties to be able to follow up this process. There's a level of transparency in Ghana than here. You can't be talking about the level at which state authorities on the day of election, our people are almost afraid as if we are going to war. People are afraid at the polling unit of intimidation. People are afraid of leaving their house because of the level of deployment of security agencies. These are all part of the things we're talking about.
But deployment of security agencies shouldn't be a problem, should it?
It's a problem. There's a level of deployment. Look, on the day of election, and they should bring out the ballot boxes to each polling unit, cast vote, allow those votes to be uploaded to IRF. Don't tamper with the IRF. Let IRF uploaded result remain there.
So it was tampered with in 2023?
It was tampered with even in Edo. You can see the information in public. We should stop pretending. This country won't work if we all pretend. I go sit in my house this morning enjoying my AC and watching television. Why am I here? I spent 4 years. Is this country born continue like this? We need to discuss the fact. Great agencies are make pretend if they don't see the vote buying that is going on. People use public resources to buy votes.
Well, isn't it too early to be having this conversation?
It's even getting late. That's what we did in 2019 when Buhari refused to sign the Electoral Act and said it was late already. So we're having an election in 2027. We're not having discussion about the electoral framework that will be used in conducting of the election because we have the issues we had in 2023. They said there was a glitch with the presidential election result. There's no national board of inquiry set up for us to be sure that it's true. INEC is revealing itself. INEC is revealing itself. INEC is giving us report of the review. And why had we said that you can be a judge on your own case?
Okay, so if there were no technical glitches in 2023, right, that would have given INEC a pat on the back,
so
or a pass mark for being credible?
Because they made these promises. These promises was made to Nigerians, and that, see, we have a dual collation process, dual accreditation process. We have a wonderful electoral system, minus the human interference. Because in every country, you have issues with accreditation. Now, INEC had improved. Now we get materials to be pulling it on time across board. We can give them applause for that one. Then we have this accreditation process that you have to check the document, open the form, check the person's name. The person also print on the beavers, and the data of that person will come out on the electronic template. And then you have the collation process where you have, the beavers taking pictures, and the Form E8A that all these documents are Form E8B that this recording are done on. And then you have this process that still, at the end of the day, people are complaining that results are changed at the collation center. It shouldn't be.
Will it be right to say that some of these reforms are just too complicated, looking at the country's political landscape?
What we need now, I think we should stop over-reforming. What we should need now is how to make the reforms we've done work. Okay. How to make sure that we also adopt the report of reforms that have been recommended since, and everybody agrees. Nobody's faulting that report. It just to a waste panel report on electoral issues, on electoral reform. So if we take that reform and we say, oh, I'm going to contest for president, you are contesting for president, and we are going to election with Tinubu, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as of today. And then he's going to appoint the electoral umpires. Everybody, including resident electoral commissioner, national commissioner, and next chairman, even promotion to directors in the ministry, in the commission, is going to be the one to appoint it. How fair would that be? In Africa, people show gratitude to who appoints them and appreciate this man and give me appointment too. Even your family will be telling you, don't betray the person. No. They don't understand the intricate issue that is attached to the fact that you cannot, is independent. So that was why, because of this, our attitude towards governance, towards appreciating those who appoint us, and they say who plays the piper, they take this tune. So why not just follow this process of electoral reform as recommended by Justice Uwe panel? That, look, now they're talking about tax reform. Anything that has to do with that will affect us collectively, people are very eager. You can see the National Assembly saying, the South senators are saying, oh, we are going to review it. The Northern senators are not agreeing. Northern governors are not agreeing. But if you now come and say, oh, now, since the recommendation by Justice Uwe electoral reform panel was that the National Judicial Council should nominate those who were the commission, which was rejected, and I also rejected, because the National Judicial Council is the court that will be educated over this matter, shouldn't be appointing this issue. Why not let's take this recommendation to the National Assembly? Let the National House of Reps nominate these people, do a public hearing. People come and shout, no, we don't want this one. This one is a politician. I know in my constituency. This debate will be very robust. We give it a time frame, and then we not take those who have been nominated, either 10 or 5, to the Senate, for Senate to make the appointment. And you
think there won't be any lobbying?
No, the lobbying won't work, because everybody is going to go for election. 300-something senators of Reps, 109 senators. So there must be a consensus. If that consensus is achieved and those people are appointed, let me tell you, they will not be beholden to anybody. So it will be easier for us to build a system. Look, they're doing it. People talk about America. I've told people a long time ago that American elections are run by political parties. People don't know. There's no electoral commission in America that runs the election. Federal Electoral Commission is just to write policies and story and write letter to you and all that. The state will ignore it. In the state, if you have the Republican heading a state, they will have 3 nominations. Democrats who are not heading will have 2. They have one higher nomination above those who are not heading. If it's Democrat that's heading, they'll have 3 nominations. The Republican will have 2. So they will sit on that panel, their own election, and then go through the election and then conduct the elections for themselves. Not that when people hide behind the toga of neutrality and say, no, we are not politicians, they'll appoint us. And then they get there, they are more politicians than politicians that were not appointed.
So, if a consensus is actually reached, in terms of appointing who heads the commission and even resident electoral commissioners across board, do you not also fear that there will be some sort of penetration, whether you like it or not? You seem to be very confident in that, process you are suggesting.
I'm very confident in it. I've seen the tax reform bill. I can see people are speaking because, Southeast will not get money, Northeast will not get money. It's going to affect them. You understand the way they have assumed. Like I said, I like the debate about the tax reform bill. I like the tax reform bill. I want it to work for their country because I have a law that is over 100 years old and we're still depending on it. Things that change. So I want that kind of debate when it comes to the commission, because the commission will determine all things, and it is that such debate that can guarantee us a free and fair process for electoral system. Because what we have today is when people feel they are owing the appointing authority, that they are beholden to the appointing authority, that the appointing authority have done them a favor, and for that reason there's so much people who call. You see somebody who have served in a political position like a special advisor on land and survey in River State. He's an electoral commissioner. I'm not talking about cousin because my cousin is qualified to hold any appointment in Nigeria. But I'm saying that if you have played politics, you are not qualified. That's what the constitution says.
But do we have any? Is there anyone who is not partisan in the country at the moment?
But that's what they are saying now. They lie now. That's why we are saying. Stop telling these lies. You could be partisan, but do it. Partisanship dictates the conduct of the election, and nobody is robbing anybody. The law stands to take its course.
Are you partisan or not?
Of course, I am. I believe in this country more than being partisan, to be sincere. And if all the appointments I've had in whether fairly, I've tried to do things, with the fear of God in that, because it's so temporary. Because people have no real philosophy. This world is so temporary, that you shouldn't even be struggling to stay. How long are you going to stay? 100 years? That you want to now insist of, depriving people of their right? Do you know people who do things right have a benefit of living many years after they've gone? So it's the benefit we get for doing things right. So look, for the electoral reforms, I also have a problem with conducting election twice. How do you conduct election twice?
All elections should be conducted in one day.
We just finished Ghana. Are you hearing about another election? Ghana is finished. Everybody go home.
But the population of Ghana, is it anything compared to that of Nigeria?
It's not population. I've contested the election. I've been at the polling booths, polling station. They give 3 papers on the date of the first election. The reason why we're not conducting an election in one day is the governors who started it in PDP who were saying, no, President, if we'll conduct our own lives, because they want to not be able to take their fate, into the hands of the what will happen to the president and happen to them.
Okay.
So if you wake up now and said, well, we spent over 350 billion in our last election, 2023. If we want to conduct that now, we're going to be looking for the same amount of money. Why not say House of Reps, Senate, House of Assembly, Governor? It's 5 ballot papers. They're giving 3 already. Adding 2 to it won't spoil anything. So you give 5 ballot papers. You have cut the cost. 40%, 60% of the cost is out. 60% is out. We are saving money. And we want to save. And 2, there's no bad wagon effect. Because as soon as you declare presidency today, the reason why we have almost all state House of Assembly that are not competitive, that are not, active, non-active, and the take towards one party system is as soon as the president is declared for party GG, almost all the House of Assembly goes to party GGG.
So are we actually sliding towards the one party system already?
Because of the way our elections are, we're sliding towards that.
But aren't you also concerned about how tasky it would be, to collate all of these elections?
No, it's very easy.
In one day.
It's easy. We've done elections now. Even IPAC election where we do for 13 persons in one day. People collate.
But that's IPAC.
They do it across Nigeria. Look, it's not difficult. People who can tally, you don't print ballot boxes based on the number of registered political parties. You print ballot boxes based on number of registered voters. So if all these things are not difficult, the data management process is not as complicated as people are saying. Politicians are trying to use it to play to their own advantage. We conduct elections in one day and go home and everybody rest, because you do not give unfair advantage to people who are not qualified to be elected, to get elected. Lack of conducting our elections in one day have created a huge voter apathy in the conduct of our elections.
But let's talk about the cost implication. For you, this would actually save cost if we conduct elections in one day.
And
right?
also help to resolve the voter apathy that we have increasingly experienced with our elections.
Let's talk about, the manpower that would be used, for the conduct of the election. All elections in one day.
It's the same manpower. It's the same manpower.
But you're going to require more hands.
No, it's the same manpower. There's nothing.
If you actually make arrangement for 50 people, for example, to conduct just 3 elections in one day, and you want to add 2 extra.
No, it's just the same manpower. Nothing changes.
Then they will be overwhelmed.
No, they will not be overwhelmed. It's the same manpower. It's recording. It's just counting. I'm telling you, it's the same. You count this one. You put it. They record it on the from EC 8B and all the forms they needed to record, and they go home. It's just the same. It's just that the man has to record the next 2 lines. There are 3 lines already recorded. He has to record the next 3 lines. There's no. See, the laws we need to change is section 132, subsection 2, section 178, subsection 2, section 64, subsection 1, section 105, subsection 1 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So the election will be conducted in one day. You will see what will happen. There's no way they have staggered election. Staggered elections are fraudulent means of undermining the authority given to the citizens to make this informed decision or who govern them. So if we conduct all these elections in one day, conduct them in one day, I tell you, you have a fairer election. You have more commitment by the people. The citizens will be so energized to participate. The participation drive will go over the roof, and voter apathy will drastically be killed in our electoral process, and people will now have vote that is justifiable based on their campaign, based on their, the perception of the people, based on their competence and their ability to deliver.
So would that also address the inefficiencies associated with some of these gadgets that were supposed to use to carry out these elections?
We've talked about these gadgets they're not inefficient. They're well developed gadgets,
They're only manipulated.
They were manipulated by the human factor. I said it earlier on. Okay. It's the human factor. The Beaver's innovation, we should give a plus to those who brought it into our system, the INEC, but we subtract that plus because they refuse to allow it to work for the good of our people. They not manipulated the process.
There is one factor you're yet to, speak to, and that has to do with the attitude of Nigerians in terms of going out, to cast their votes. When the opportunity avails itself. So whilst you want to put all the blame or apportion all the blame, to INEC or on INEC, as it were, don't you think you should also tinker on the attitude of, Nigerians?
When you have perception that you go to vote and your vote don't count, it will start to discourage.
But where did that even start from?
It started since 2003 election. It's not a one day thing. It has consistently, continuously, be on the increase. When people go throughout with so much excitement to cast a vote for the candidate of their choice. See, when people say that, we don't know, this person won, is that what INEC declare? John Mahama just won in Ghana. You can see the joy on the street. Why is it that it's only Nigeria when elections are declared, the people are sad? You find people are sad, people are broken, people want to commit suicide,
But they say people are only sad when it does not favor the party.
No. The majority, you can see the majority of sadness in the face of the people. When the nation goes into mourning and a person is declared winner, there's a problem. When the nation goes into mourning, you can see it. Look, when the excitement, they say the excitement is in the air. It's not something you pretend about it. It's consciously people will feel it. Even unconsciously they will feel it. So the problem we have is that people, they from time to time have experienced this manipulative process in our election. When people give reason that we had a glitch on our server.
Manipulative process orchestrated by the politicians and the electoral umpire. You mean?
By those in government and electoral umpires, because opposition have the resources to do anything.
Really,
oppositions are dependent on the mandate to be given to them by the people. They don't have the resources because our election finance management laws are not as strong enough to get people who take money from government coffers and spend it as well. Which opposition will have money to buy vote, not buy vote? Where will he get the money from? Where? They are depending on the people to help them get into office so that they can work for the people. Opposition won't get that money.
That speaks volumes.
You see, for us, for people, for Nigerians, the best bet for us is these reforms.
Okay. Now, ahead of future elections, the Independent National Electoral Commission has recommended using computer-generated voting slips for those without permanent voter cards, PVCs. On Thursday last week in Abuja during the quarterly consultative meeting with resident electoral commissioners, INEC chairman Professor Mahmood said that PVCs should no longer be the sole requirement for voting, especially with the introduction of the BVAS, that's the Bimodal Voter Accreditation System. He said the commission, having released its 524-page main report on the 2023 general election, has consulted widely with its officials and externally with all major stakeholders. Now, is this a step in the right direction? Are we ripe for this?
We're not. The too many reform at once will cause problem. The reforms we made, we have not even used them.
But this could reduce voter apathy.
There's no voter apathy in Nigeria. The voter apathy is caused by the attitude, the fact that election does not represent the true wishes and aspirations of people. There's no way INEC has more work on its hands. INEC has not been able to check. If INEC should do this, INEC cannot be able to remove those who are without those who have died from their voter register. They have not. They have not been able to register those who have decided not to be Nigerian. They have not weighed it out. So we need to get this voter register and have an authentication process for them, so that we can say, oh, everybody who says is a voter for this next election, please can you go and do revalidation, so that we can know exactly those. My father is late. He still has voter's card. His name is on voter roll. So you understand? So a lot of situations like that. INEC should be able to clean up the voter register first. Let's have a sustainable, a dependable voter register, and create and conduct elections that people can believe in. We can't start to now print voter slip today, and they tell you that people are printing slips and don't worry, go to court. Let's have this. We have a very secured electoral process. Let's find a way to stop the human interference and manipulation. We have a very I say it everywhere I go all over the world, that Nigeria elections we have enough laws that will secure it. All we are trying to do is just to settle some things, like bring on the elections in one day, stop party 4 years. All
right, I'll let you hold your thought when we come the new norm now.
No, it's not new.
Oh, it's not new though, but in recent times, we've seen the case with the Labour Party, and they're also threatening, to head to court. But we'll talk about that after this quick timeout. Do join us again.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Ilimi babban abu ne gun shi zai kankan ya mutuncin mu.
A kowane ƙarni a kowace irin al'umma da ilimi ake tinkawo. Yanzu fa tazarar tana kokarin ta kaita.
Musamman mu 'ya'ya mata da a wannan zamani ya kamata a cusa mu makaranta. Sai aka bar mu da yawon gararan ba da tallace-tallace.
Ashe kaga ya zama haƙƙi ga iyaye da kowa mai hanin jinka.
Mu tabbatar da ana cusa yara makaranta.
Su samu natijar ilimi su daidaita da zamanin su.
Kuma zamanin su ya tinkaho da su. Amma rashin sa yaran a makarantar ya jawo an mana tazara a kowace harka ta rayuwa.
A Najeriya kimanin yara sama da miliyan 20 ba sa makaranta.
Har ma masu ƙididdiga suka ce miliyan 8 a kudu, miliyan 12 a arewa. Shi yasa hukumar ilimin bai ɗaya ta ƙasa wato UBEC ta ce
mi ka faɗa da ka faɗa tunani wajen cusa yara makaranta.
Domin gadon ilimi ya fi gadon dukiya.
Wannan sako ne daga hukumar ilimin bai ɗaya ta ƙasa wato UBEC.
Himma da ƙwazo ƙoƙarin mushinku jama'a kiran mu nake.
2.3
Hello Nigeria. Hello Nigeria. Hello Africa. Do you want to work in the healthcare sector? Do you want to be a trained certified nursing assistant, medical assistant, or caregiver? If yes, then register to enroll for Push Africa's 1-year diploma in certified nursing assistant training happening at the African University College of Science and Technology. Abuja. Target is unemployed rates, O-level or ordinary diploma graduates, or anyone interested in working as a support worker in the healthcare sector. For details, log on to www.pushafrica.org or WhatsApp 080-339-01 080-339-42015 080-339-42015 For registration, pick up application form at our partner radio stations or visit the reception at the African University of Science and Technology, Abuja.
I don't need no liquor. I'm intoxicated by you.
My country people, who work is supposed to enjoy you after all the hustle. You not supposed to take your comfort play to fit sleep the way it's supposed to be. Make you go grab your Eurofoam mattress. Make you forget your full car Euro spring, Euro orthopedic, abi semi-orthopedic, Diamond and Diamond Plus. And for Comfort Pro Max, Eurofoam don't introduce latest in Comfort Pro Max. Eurofoam don't introduce latest in town. That na Euro Elite. That na Euro Elite. This one they sleep jolly ment no get equal. Eurofoam Elite. This one they sleep jolly ment no get equal. Eurofoam get quality pillows and sheetings. Eurofoam shop yakpa. Eurofoam sleep the way it's supposed to be.
Your body fine like so, and you can be my more.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Right, welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. If you are just joining us, this is Eagles Outlook as Nigeria's electoral reforms. And speaking chairman United Parties, Peter Ame. You can actually join the discussion by sending a message or a voice note to the WhatsApp portal on 090-9705-4450. You can also call us 90-8766-8888 or 090-7353-0044. I take the numbers again, 090-8766-8888 or 090-7353-0044. Good morning. Hello. Hello, are you there? All right, you might want to call back. Let's hear from you. And don't forget, you can also send a message or a voice note to the WhatsApp portal on 090-9705-4450.
Good morning, Ife.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where you're calling from? Good to have you, Moses. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. God bless you. I want to appreciate your guest over there who has validly and valuable contributed much to the electoral issue of Nigeria. We saw Ghana as an example. What is going to be the way out? When elections, we have multiples of elections, that there is what we call crisis in elections. You know, Nigerian election, we have never had election in this country without crisis. How can we escape that? That is one question. When hoodlums are used, you get the point.
Yes,
most of these candidates have their own kinds as hoodlums. Equip them with weapons to distract areas that they know that they will not have major support. They will go and distract, take the ballot paper. How are they going to work out to stop this nonsense that is going on in the Electoral Commission? Another point again is the issue of this election inconclusive. Majority of our elections here we hear inconclusive, because and during that period of inconclusive, in the night, a lot of electoral malpractice has been done in that period. Then finally, when are we going to have elections being conducted electronically and the following day we get the results? God bless you.
All right, thank you very much, Moses, for your contribution this morning. 090-8766-8888 or 090-7353-0044 are the numbers to call this morning to be part of a conversation. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where you're calling from? Could you please come again with your name? Quite frankly, we really cannot hear you. Is it possible for you to call us back? All right. Please call us back. All right. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my sister.
Yes, good morning, Elder.
The other line have a problem. That line have problem.
It should be network reception.
The network reception. Good morning, my Dr. Ame.
Good morning.
Ame, you know now, in and out of election in Nigeria. We only just talk it. They can never review election law where it did not favor them. I went to, as a chairman of IPA, the person where ruled that the third president election win a governorship election is the Chief Justice of Nigeria now. Are you going to bite the thing away from you? As far as comment upon INEC, upon judge in Nigeria, nothing can work in the election in Nigeria. Look at governor, most of the governors, they have a terrorist group. They can attack you during election, kill you during election. Did you ever hear say all the election law favor those people when they kill? Nobody tried them. If they win the election, they appoint, they are the people who appoint a judge in the high court in the state. So you can't catch them to court. So yes, government appoint Chief Justice of Federation, appoint a Supreme Court. Go to land of Israel, read the election law in land of Israel. Nothing because government will appoint this and this. Even in America, they do it within the state. But the system, when the government is power, appoint Chief Justice, appoint the High Court Justice, Court of Appeal. If they need election, they will tell you they go to court. Could you don't judge bite finger away see them? They are they going to rule against the government? Remember those judge when rule against rule that they should release a canoe. Within 24 hours, they dissolve them. So it can't work. Can't work. The system we are using in Nigeria can't work. Can't work. And then the type of politician we have in Nigeria, anything where did not favor them, they can never review it. They can never review it. Thank you very much. God bless Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you, Elder Noja, for your line of thought right there. Again, these are your opinions, right? Let's get more thoughts to the topic of discussion this morning. We have a message right on the WhatsApp portal. Abbas reporting from Dutse says, good morning, Omoife. It's very unfair for political parties and some persons are claiming INEC is responsible for their failure. INEC is only being a scapegoat. In the last presidential election, I monitored results around my areas, Dutse, till today. I still have those results in my phone, which was actually what INEC, reported. But ironically, I never saw any party agent around to collate results for their parties. Vote buying is not a problem of INEC. Vote buying is done by all political parties involved in any election. Let our political parties learn to accept election results. They are acting like bad losers who always want to cry when they lose elections. How do you expect to win an election when political parties present bad candidates? Nobody can rig a good candidate out of an election. The people who must have voted, they know who they voted for, not a segment crying up and down that the election was rigged. Our politicians and political parties are responsible for their problems, not INEC. Abbas, there. Thank you for that message. Okay, let me come back to you now, Chief. We actually were trying to talk about the defection of party members, from the opposition party to the ruling All Progressives Congress. What exactly are your thoughts on that, first of all?
I've been talking about defection across carpeting for over 15 years. If you go to internet, you can search, and it searches search engine, and you see most of my comments in the last 15 years. It is bad for our democracy. It is bad for multi-party democracy that we practice. It has weakened multi-party democracy totally, because it has made these parties who are supposed to struggle organically, build their party over a period of time, to act like feeder pillars to parties that have state power. And people don't understand when he talked about agent in pulling party agents and parties not accepting election results. My brother, I've seen when good candidate lost. Even if we go back to review our election in 2015 where Jonathan had lost, you will be shocked. It is that 2015 that Jega was asking results that came from Kano, where they declared over 2 million votes. There was no void vote, there was no council vote, nobody refused to vote. All the persons that was on that register voted. We have seen things, we were in that hall when Jega asked the man who brought the result, are you sure no void vote? Go and check the video. So we have seen the result. We have seen things. We have a man who decided to accept the result to go and not challenge it. Yes, a good character. But our issues are for defection is about character, is about lack of discipline, because you don't come to a place. If you are a member of a political party, you can defect, you can move to another party. You know why? Because Section 40 was very clear. Section 40 of the Constitution says that every Nigerian must have the right to belong to a trade union or a political party where his right and interest is protected. But when it comes to the one of election, Section 109, subsection 1G clearly states that you are, and the Supreme Court also said that you have a contract with the people to represent them on the platform of this party. So going from that is a breach of contract.
No, but why is it always an issue when people cross carpet or defect from opposition to the ruling party?
It is very rare in case that people leave ruling party to opposition. It's rare because people are going there. You see, the truth is very bitter. You know why people are leaving to go to APC?
You see, PDP,
to go to
for
PDP
example,
when PDP was in government in a previous time. We were telling PDP, I'm here. You can ask them. I have all their big names are my friends. I was telling them, I say, this defection is favoring you. Can we just put a law to stop it? If they have stopped it by 2015, they wouldn't have had the problem that made them lost the election. They refused because they felt they were benefiting from this defection. See, but now it came to APC. We're also telling them, stop this, because it will affect you one day. There will be a consensus build up against you over defection, and you will no longer be able to and you will lose the election. If you allow parties to build up organically over a period of years, including your own party, without taking these people, following these shenanigans, people just who have no competence, who have no character, running from pillar to pole, jumping from one boat to the other, because they felt the party has the instrumentality of state to protect them on the election day. They are looking at which party owns the apparatus.
Well, is that the only reason why people defect?
It's a major reason. It's a number one major reason.
So if you were a politician now, for example, and you belong to a party that has an internal crisis almost every now and then, are you still going to pitch your tent?
If I have been elected,
yes,
I'll fight with everything, because there's one thing, I'll fight with everything I have to make sure those issues are resigned if I've been elected. But if I've not been elected, I'm just a member. It's to show that I can't control anything, I can't mobilize anything. And if I stay, my rights will not be protected because I do not have a status. You understand? Because I have no any other authority in the party to be able to force my way in. But as a member of the National Convention, as an elected person, you are a delegate to the National Convention of the party. So when they gather in that delegate convention, you can have a microphone to say your voice and say, this is our situation. We don't want so people. We want so people. We want the people who are there to continue. We want new people to come. You have a voice. But as a man who is not elected, why should I now stay in a party that have no voice? So, but if you have been elected, you have been given the power to represent a particular people at the convention of the party. And in most cases of other party, both at convention and NEC. So what are you running away from? You wait for the meeting to be called. Or you mobilize yourself for the constitution and write a letter and say, we are waiting for you to call a NEC meeting. We are waiting for you to call a convention so that we can discuss the crisis in this party.
Well, so much to talk about, with a lot to take in. The studio lines are still open. You can call in to share your thoughts on 090-8766-8888 or 090-7353-0044. You can send a message or a voice note to the WhatsApp portal on 090-9705-4450. Let's hear from you even as we assess Nigeria's electoral reforms. Now, these reforms actually have been, I wouldn't say tradition, but no pun intended, but this is not the first time we're having reforms, right? When it comes to our Electoral Act, it's been a theme, for quite some time now, but at the end of the day, when you look at the back and forth, because when you come up with reforms and expectations are high, it appears people end up getting, less of what they had actually, expected. At the end of the day, it leaves us with, throwing words right here, there, here and there, accusing INEC. Well, maybe INEC has really been a scapegoat, in recent times, because it seems to be taking the bulk of the blame every now and then. But let me ask you this question, Chief, talking about other factors that also contribute to why our electoral process is actually the way it is. You talk about us not coming up with new reforms, but let us improve on the reforms that we have on ground already, maybe by way of restructuring or what have you. How can these reforms on ground already, how can they indeed promote social cohesion and reduce ethnic and religious tensions during elections?
What the ethnic and religious tensions we have is when people, when when one tribe is seen as superior over another, when one sees when there is no equality within the society. Because when you talk about equality, there's equality and there's also equity. You understand? These people can pretend that things are equal, but there's no equitable distribution of this equality. So for us, what I'm saying is that.
But do we have such a scenario in the country at the moment?
Of course. Naturally, I'm an Igala man. There's a Nupe man. There's an Angas man. There's a Biron man. There's a Petty man from Kaduna. You've never heard some of this tribe before. From the day a Petty man gave a birth to his child, I don't think the child is seen as somebody who can contest and run for president of Nigeria, even when the constitution accepts it. So we have a system where you have a country where you have major tribes and not tribes and minority tribes, where there's no equality of human persons, where there's no equality of citizenship. When we start to base our qualification on citizenship, participation, understanding that every true Nigerian has the quality to run this country, to manage our society, to manage our processes, and create an enabling environment where people can survive, with their prosperity being shared, then we'll have a country. We don't have a country where appointment, where, quota system is arranged. When all these things are arranged, it won't help us. It devalues our status as citizenship from any walks of life. So I believe that for us to have a country, there has to be and election has a lot to do with the root of all these things. When we start to have credible elections, there was an Sam Fulani man who was a mayor of Enugu when Nigeria was still working.
Also, Nigeria is not working at the moment.
No, Nigeria. Why are you going to contest election if you are not there? They say you are not from there. There have been cases of people being thrown in lagoon, threatening to be thrown in lagoon. You are out today. You are from probably Delta or Edo or something. If you're in Lagos, they will say, "Oh, Igbo." You suffer the same. You understand? So these are the challenges of statehood, and we need to have nationalists, state leaders who will rise above all this, who will speak truth to these issues publicly, without being afraid of losing vote from his own people. These are the challenges. People are playing into this ethnic divide, to become political lords and then take over power and then run power from that basis.
But some of this, perception that people have towards other regions. Let's use Lagos, as a case study, because it's no news that there's been this. I don't want to say unsettled, rift between a region and the others, but will it be intelligent to say that some of these politicians are the ones instigating or even pushing that narrative?
Is the politician? I've seen that. I grew up in Lagos. I was born in Lagos. Shomolu, Bariga, Yaba. These are places I trek all my life. I trek from my young barracks to Yaba Market. I grew up with Yoruba Igbo boys who speak Yoruba more than I grew up with them. So with Shakiri children who could speak Yoruba more than Yoruba boys. And it was wonderful. We didn't know tribe, we didn't know religion. We were wonderful children who were happy. We call ourselves brothers, from Labaran, Yakubu, from everybody, from Shahid. We call ourselves brothers. And when the political system came in 1999, we gradually saw the erosion of this brotherhood. We gradually saw that politicians were playing to divide the people, to play on the mindset of the people to get into power. I was born there. I grew up there. I never saw division until politicians came. That undermined our national unity because of their selfish interests. They want to get into power on the back of ethnicity and tribal bigotry. And that is the reason why we're here. That is the reason why you see people get into power and they start to appoint their tribes. And ignore other minorities, they ignore other major tribes. And you cannot be the nation that is so divided from your own appointment. We have seen it in previous government. We are seeing it on a daily basis. We must get Nigeria right. And if we are going to get Nigeria right, we must treat everybody fairly. We must make Nigeria work for our people. We are Nigerians. When we go out of this, if you travel to London today, and by mistake you see a Delta person on the road, you'll be so happy. Both of you will remember it's Kogi and Delta. You'll be rejoicing. Nigeria you be. Which time you go Nigeria last? You'll be so happy. Okay. But when we come back to this country, we start to divide ourselves. Why people that can change this world? The world is waiting for Nigeria to rise so that Africa can be recognized as part of the global player internationally. So we cannot continue to divide ourselves and play politics